how do you and I actually grow in the Christian life? I know it seems like a massive question, but seriously, like how do you and I actually make concrete steps in growing in holiness? I'm presuming in this question, though, 5 things. I'm presuming that you and I are already living what's called the 5 precepts of the Catholic Church. These are like the 5 minimum requirements to be a practicing Christian in the Catholic Church. So maybe you've never heard of them, but those 5 things that I'm presuming are these. 1, we need to attend Mass every Sunday and holy day of obligation. 2, we need to confess our sins at least 1 time per year. 3, we need to receive the Eucharist at least 1 time per year. 4, we need to observe days of fasting and abstinence. And then 5, we need to provide for the needs of the church as one is able. Maybe you've never heard of those things, but those are like the 5 absolute minimum requirements to be like a practicing Catholic. But presuming those things, if we are and have those things kind of in place in our life, well then what? Well, I'm going to mention 4 quick things about actually how to grow. And the first is this: get a vision. 2, set a goal. 3, stake a path. 4, take a step. So a little on each of those 4 things. 1, get a vision. What is a vision? A vision is a picture of the future that produces passion in us, excitement, desire. It's kind of like what gets us out of bed in the morning. We need to have hope for something that we're reaching out to. And it needs to actually be something attractive to us. So if I were to ask you, do you want to become a saint? And you yawned, if you don't have desire or attraction, there's no point in going any further. But I have found that many people catch a vision. It's not something we just read about, but it's something that we catch. The early disciples caught a vision simply in being in the presence of Jesus before they ever really knew him. And they ran up to him and said, "Master, where do you stay?" They were just fascinated by his person. And he said to them, "Come and see." They didn't even know what that meant. It was kind of mysterious, but it was attractive, like, yes. And they even remembered, John's gospel says, it was about 4 p.m. They remembered that event of like instilling a vision of like God is calling us. So a vision can happen sometimes when you read like a biography of a saint. I remember when I first read the example of St. Ignatius of Loyola, read more about his life, and all of a sudden, being a saint, which is kind of like a general thing, all of a sudden became more clear of this is what holiness could look like. And it started to produce more of an excitement in me. It can happen when you meet a holy person. You're like, I want more what they have. So first step is get a vision. Get something that you're excited about to grow in the person of Jesus. Second, set a goal. The difference between a vision and a goal is if a vision is a picture in the future, like a beautiful sunset, something beautiful that I want to reach out to, but it's still something that takes up half the sky, a goal is like a mountaintop in that sunset. It's something particular. It's something that I say, I want to go towards that. And so in order to set a goal, this is what starts to distill a vision into something that I can move towards. Because, and this is a little archery phrase, if we aim at nothing, we will hit it every single time. So we need to aim at something. What is the vision that I want to pursue? Third point of like how to grow is, well, if we have a vision and we have set a goal, we need to stake a path. Maybe you're noticing that this is becoming more practical. It's distilling excitement and passion and attraction into practical application. So staking a path, Jesus gets at this, well, very directly in the Gospels when he talked about discipleship. He said, which of you, in desiring to construct a tower, would not first sit down and calculate the costs to see if one has the resources necessary to finish the project? So in other words, if we're going to say yes to something, it's going to entail a lot of no's. It's going to entail some real sacrifices. It's going to entail some grit. And so, for example, if you and I want to grow in a particular virtue, let's just say the virtue of temperance, we actually want to use our time well and not just scroll for 5 hours per day. If we want to say yes to, I want to have freedom to do good and even great things during the day, well, it's going to entail some substantial no's. So that's called like staking a path. And it answers the question, what is this going to take for me to pursue this? Okay, fourth and final step, take a step. If all we do is think about things, we're actually not growing. So taking a step, this is where we actually have to bleed a little bit, so to speak. Making decisions can be some of the hardest things we do during our life. Decisions are super hard. We like to think about things, but not act a lot on things. So I have found a little secret though. If we start to decide practically to take steps in holiness every day, making them sustainable and easy, I have found though that once we take small practical steps in deciding certain things, it begins to clear up other things in our life that we've always wanted to clear up. So, in other words, if we start to pursue a particular virtue, it actually starts to help us grow in other virtues that we weren't even aiming at. So, all this to say, how do we grow? Well, get a vision, set a goal, stake a path, and take a step. God bless you.